Hey guys, welcome. Today we are very much excited because there is a market. The crypto market is looking down. People are thinking it is an end and none of them had made any success. But today we are with some real person who created a history. The project which he has done, that is Eunoia, it might not be the as popular as the crypto punks and these all things, but still this project will give you the learning like how a normal person can also create a good volume. The whole project has got more than 2 million trade as a transaction, and with all this I welcome Afnan to the show to give all his journey, detail, and understanding about NFTs, cryptos, and many more so that you guys can be inspired and proceed ahead. Hi, Afnan, welcome.
Hey, Kapil, thanks for the introduction. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to be here. Long time. It's been a while. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, good, good. And definitely, it was a time when early when we connected and we saw like, there is a boom
Yeah.
and, the NFTs are on the different stage. Right now,
Mm,
definitely people are looking for a motivation. There is a hard time,
exactly.
I understand, but everything
Yeah.
goes. The good time goes, the hard time goes. And with all this, our knowledge, our experience, the same we want to show to the people. So
Yeah, exactly.
definitely. So, Afnan, one thing which I want to know, like, every listener would also like to know, like, how this all crypto things came in your mind. Like, you might have seen many
Yeah.
things around moving on. So, how and which way you
Mm-hmm.
decided, like, crypto is something you want to dive in and test
Mm-hmm.
the water.
All right. So it's actually is quite interesting, right? So what happened, I would say like in 2014, actually I was like 14 years old. And what happened is I was like, everyone at some point, like everyone when you're studying and everything, you're on the study age or whatever, you look for something which is like how to make money online. So I was like, I was seeing people are making money and all that. I just searched that randomly. I was like, okay, so let's just take a look. Let's see, like a lot of people are talking about it, and I see this thing, Bitcoin. I was like, bro, and Bitcoin was like at $200 at that time, right? It was, in our currency, I was like it's 20,000 rupees. I was like, bro, like what is it? Like people were talking about like how it can change the world, how it can like it's so innovative and all that. And I was like, I was so impressed by this. I was like, okay, this is gonna be one of the biggest things. So 2014 was the first time when I saw like Bitcoin, and but I didn't like exactly. I was like, I was a kid. I didn't have enough money, so I didn't have money to invest. So I was like, okay, it looked interesting for me, but I was like, then yeah, okay, I don't know if it might be good or not. So I just moved on from there. So 2014 was the first time when I got introduced by the crypto. Then if I talk about my journey about crypto and the NFTs, I would say the crypto journey started I would say like 2019 when I really got back into the crypto. The start of bull run, right? Like when everything was pumping and everything was going up and all that. So
Right.
that was the time I got back into crypto. And bro, literally, like you're not gonna believe at that time I was thinking because I saw Bitcoin at like at 40K, I was like 35, 40K. And when I saw that, I was like, bro, I remember the time of like that 2014. I was like, bro, I mean, I remember I used to like learn about this thing. And I feel so regret. I was like, bro, I wish like I would, invest a little bit of money so I could see like it could go, like to 40K. It was like 30x or something, right? It was a lot.
Right.
So yeah, I started my journey in 2019. I started learning about crypto trading, everything. We made a lot of money. Me and three of my friends, we made pretty good money throughout like the way, like 2019, 2020. And yeah, that was the time. 2020 is when when the bull run was at peak. Like the BTC was going at like 50K and then 45K, 50K. All kinds were pumping. It was a great fucking time. So everything was going up. I invested a lot. I invested some money, made some money as well. And and 2021, by the end of 2021, I got introduced to like NFTs, the NFTs and everything by one of my friends. So that was the time I got into the NFTs. And till now, I mean, I have done some projects and I have invested in several, NFT projects. So this is how my journey started with crypto. And right now, I have done a lot of things, and as I told you, like sold out a couple projects. And now I'm working as an NFT consultant and consulting, some projects. Like I would say I have consulted over like 10 projects now and still like continuing consulting projects. So that's my journey and that's something I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's like really good to know. And it was also really awesome. Like you started everything on 2014. That was
Mhm.
really a time, when many people were not aware
Yeah,
of it. And it looked, one thing need to learn, like, we need to search for new thing. Like maybe we did not invest
exactly.
it, but we have to search every time a new thing, and that is only going to be make a market.
Exactly.
This we can
Yeah,
definitely
the
learn from
learning.
your initial steps.
Exactly.
How is
I
it?
totally agree with that. Like with the learning, exactly. You got a point. Exactly. Like the thing is like the learning phase is something that we all need. Like every time, whether you're working or whatever, you need to put some time out to learn about new things, what's going on, how the trend is working, if there's something new is coming up. So yeah, you got a point. Exactly. I totally agree with that.
That's really good. So you mentioned about your one of two successful project and things went on.
Mhm.
So can you tell like mostly about Eunoia, like how you came to
Yeah.
that idea? What is the motive behind it? What is the concept and why people and how people love that?
Yeah, sure. So it was the time I remember when I told you like I got back, like I did crypto trading for 2 years, and then I got into NFTs by introduced to NFTs by one of my friend who lives in Slovakia. So he sent me this image. He said, "Hey, bro, I mean, look at this thing. This thing costs like $400." He said, like I made $1,000 from this picture. I was like, "Bro, what? Are you serious? You made money from this picture?" So like, yeah, I made money from this picture. This is called NFT. I was like, bro, what? I mean, I was so confused. Like, how can someone make money with a picture, right? So, and then he introduced me on 2021. He introduced me like how NFTs and everything work. I deposited some so into my wallet, and then I started like trading some NFTs. So I started with trading some NFTs, and then one day, me and my partner, so Thomas, so when I was telling him
Yeah.
about, we were talking about a few things, and we were trying to mint this project, this red panda or something like that. I forgot the name. So we were minting that project, and we couldn't able to mint, right? But what we did is they sold out 10,000 pieces, and the mint price was three Solana. So
Right.
Solana was at $200 at that time. So if
Wow.
you calculate that, $200 multiplied by 10,000, sorry, they okay, so the mint price was three Solana. So it was actually $600 multiplied by 10,000. If you do that, if you do the calculation, bro, that's $6 million, right?
Right.
100,000 like no, that's like $500,000. So what I'm saying is, I mean, what is it like? Can you calculate it real quick? I'm just like doing calculation on my head. How much is going to be? I'm really curious because okay, so we did the calculation. It was a lot of money. What we did is like, bro, can you really make that much money? And me and him, like we were talking to each other. I was like, let's launch our own project. Let's like, if you can make that much money, why don't we launch our own project? I said like, yeah, let's do that. So at that time, we decided to launch our own project. We started this project called Crypto Bros. So before Eunoia, we launched this project called Crypto Bros.
Mm-hmm.
And me and this guy, like we both invested $10,000. I mean, at that time, it was like like it was at least my whole savings. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna
Right.
invest anything I can to just be successful because you can see when you see that figure, when you see that million figure, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do anything I can to achieve that number. So I invested money, he invested money. We tested out a bunch of things. We got scammed by a lot of people. And unfortunately, the first project was not successful. So we wasted a lot of money. And it was really like painful for him and me as well. So that was the first project. That was the first project that I did, but it didn't go successful. And then what I did is okay, so then I met this girl. She was an artist, and she made me. I asked her if she can make an art for me, like just a sample art, just to take a look or whatever, because I had
Right.
that feeling, because there's something I would like to share with people as well. When you have this feeling that you can really do something, like you have that inner feeling that, yeah, I mean, I have the courage, I have the feeling that I can do it, but there's something that is stopping me, and you keep like trying. That keep trying thing is gonna, if you keep trying, it's gonna work out. So that's
Okay.
something I experienced in my life. So what I did is just, I said like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it another shot. So I didn't talk to my partner. I didn't talk to him. What I did, I said like, okay, let's. I mean, because I'm not gonna ask him to invest more money or whatever. I said like, let's just. I mean, I'm gonna try myself. If it don't work out, don't work. That's it.
Right, right,
So I didn't give up. I didn't give up, and I started with Eunoia. Like the first, we made the first art, and then we posted it on Twitter. The first day I posted that art on Twitter, we got like 100 likes. I was like, okay, 100 likes, a couple of retweets, everything. I was like, okay. I mean, I never got that many engagement, even in the previous project, even though we invested a lot of money. And I didn't invest
right.
a single penny on this project. And I got like a lot of like engagement there. So it was pretty good. This is how we started with Eunoia. And throughout the way, if you want to talk, like, if you want to hear about like the whole story, there's like a whole thing, how we did it. There's going to be like a long story. But what we did is like we launched the project, we did a couple of promotion. And this was one of the most high project. This was one of the most high project of Solana. It ranked at top 3 for 10 days straight. The $2 million transaction we did in less than a month, and people our all-time high floor price was 40 Solana. At that time, so was 100. And it was like, how much that is, like that's going to be 100, that's
400,000?
like 4,000. Yeah, for 40. So it was like the all-time high was like 40. So that's like
Oh,
$4,000 for each NFT. That was our all-time high. So
yeah.
this was the second project was successful. Yeah, so this was the whole time how I launched the first project and the second one, and that's how it's been. So yeah.
So, I like, the one thing which I really pick up with this is like, if you think something is some part where you can make a difference, you have to keep trying. Definitely, success won't come in the first.
Exactly.
And this, I really, people need to get inspired by this, because many times they think like, if it is not working in first time, it is not for that. But what I want to
Exactly.
ask from the people perspective, as per your
Mhm.
description, it looked like you posted something and people given, people are really interested among the art and that all thing. So people
Mhm.
understand art, right? People care for the art,
Yeah.
and art is a critical part for NFT. What do you think on that?
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly. I would say six. I would say like 70% of the role is the art, because look at that way, all right. So when you guys like for example, when you launch an NFT, the first thing people see is your art, and where they're investing money is like the utilities are there, but something that would like to, this is what something in the whole NFT ecosystem, they would love to put something on their profile picture. They would love to flex. This is all I would say, like this is how the community is. So the art matters a lot, and Eunoia has one of the best art in the whole ecosystem. It was
definitely.
connected with
I
emotion.
really saw that,
So
and
I
there
would
is a difference. Yeah, I have
yeah.
actually seen the art, and it is a bit different, not common. It has its own way of telling. It is something like, a person with a brain, and it has his own imagination setup. So this is really a good to say. Like, I
Exactly,
really like the art.
exactly,
One
exactly.
thing,
So one thing I would,
yeah, yeah, please come. Yeah.
sorry to cut you off, Kapil. One thing I would like to add here, because I don't want to forget this, but this is like a great point. So I really want people to understand this thing. If anyone, if you do any kind of like marketing, if you connect emotion to that, you are already like 50% ahead of other competitors. So emotion plays a huge part. That's something I would like to add here. So what I did with art is I added emotion. You have seen it, right? I mean,
Yes.
the face had a lot of thing going on. Everyone was saying, so that's something I wanted to add here. So yeah, go ahead.
So in the one line, if I say emotion will bring sale, if you add
Yeah,
emotion, you can
exactly. Yeah.
definitely get sale. That's
Yeah,
really good.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is.
One thing, like, because you already have created everything from the scratch, you are the first who just posted and got your first 100 like, and you saw the whole sold out. So what are some key strategies, like something which you want to share, so people who are still in this segment,
Yeah.
they can learn like what key strategies are there to keep in mind to get a sold out?
Yeah, sure. So, okay, it first of all, I have put this thing. I'm gonna put this thing into three parts, right? Just to make it easy for people,
Okay.
right? So, the first and the most important thing is you have to follow the trend in NFT ecosystem. you always have to follow what's going on in the current market. You have to follow the current market. You have to get updated. You have to see what's going on. For example, it's a bear market right now. So you have to, see what you can do. Like you have to follow the trend. So what I did back then is I followed the trend. I was seeing that people are getting into low supply project.
Right.
Eunoia had like 800 supply, right? So I was seeing like low supply projects were selling out like crazy. So what I did is first thing I did was follow the trend. The second thing you can do, which is going to be the most effective thing is you have to learn the recent sold out projects. So you have to take a look at the recently sold out projects and how they did it, what were their plan was, what were their roadmap was, and learn from them, right? Learn what they did, how they did it. It's going to give you a lot of you know uh, information and knowledge, like how they did the marketing, how they did this and that. So that's like the second most important part. The third, I would say, this is I would love to add here. I mean, it might not work for someone, but like it's something that helped me a lot, as I've mentioned earlier with you, that emotion connected to your project.
Right.
So emotion is going to help a lot with the marketing side. So these are the three things I said. If you follow these three things, you will have a good strategy right there to sell out your project.
Definitely. No, this was really a good insight which people can follow, and step by step they can do it out. Following the trend, keeping the emotion and move as the market go is really key thing to got to know.
Exactly.
But what I noticed, like you
Exactly.
were among the pioneers who were on the
Exactly.
solar,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? So you were among the pioneers who were there on Solana
Yeah.
network, but why? Like why you chosen Solana over Ethereum? Because Ethereum has also its own base also.
Mm. Mm. So this is a pretty interesting question, by the way, Kapil, because the thing is, a lot of my clients, I mean, recently they always ask me this question: Why you always prefer Solana? Why you don't go with Ethereum? Ethereum has a bigger community. Ethereum has like more projects are getting into Ethereum. So I would say I would make it clear, right? I mean, the main reason, something that I personally look for is who I'm spending my time with, right? The community is something that matters to me a lot. I mean, I'm talking about me personally. A lot of people might not care about the community at all. But what I care about, because I'm learning from that community, I'm spending most of my time, daily time, with the community, with those people. That's why I need to see, So if I talk about Solana has a tight knit community.
Right.
A lot of, if you go to Ethereum is like, it's a vast community. It's like a lot of people are there. So a lot of toxic thing going on, a lot of things going on in Ethereum. A lot of projects are launching. There are a lot of competitions, and like I got into Ethereum, but I was not there for long, because first of all, like, the gas fee is something that I didn't like. I don't want to invest, like, I spend like $100 on gas fees. That's something that I didn't want to do. And the second one was the community. So I really prefer Solana because it has like low fees, and the community is like really interactive people. There are a lot of things going on. They help each other, and just the community, man. I mean, it's a tight knit community. People help each other, and that's something I really really personally like prefer. So I would say the community is something that convinced me to go with Solana.
Definitely. And I have went one place and where I have learned one thing. Like blockchain is community, community is blockchain. Yeah, like you cannot keep community separate
Exactly.
from blockchain. That is a key part on it.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah, you got
really
a
tough
point.
for everyone to keep the community active and live and that all thing. So how exactly
Mm.
you have done of yours? You also have a strong
Yeah.
community, like how you daily
Mm.
communicate, how you entertain, and what all action you
Mm.
have done in that.
Mm. So I would say, like, building up the community, this is the most important part in your business. Like, and if you talk about the NFT space, if you can build a community, if you can build a solid community, you can literally do anything. You can sell out a freaking, like, a 50,000 piece of collection, 100,000 piece of collection. People don't give up. They don't really care. If you build a solid community, they would support you to the death, literally. Like, they would do anything for you if you build a solid community. Just look at the D gods. I'm not Have you heard about D gods? Like, this is like a Solana collection. I guess you've heard of
Definitely,
it,
yes,
right?
yes, yes. Yeah,
Right? D gods. Everyone knows about D gods. So
right.
just look at, like, how they're so successful. The only reason is community. So you asked me, like, how I built a community, and how I did that. So I would say when you want to build your community, for example, you just recently launched your project and now you want to build your community. I would suggest a couple of things to you, right? If anyone wants to do that and anyone wants to launch their project and want to like build a community, I would suggest you three things. One of the thing you need to do is you need to hire collab managers. So you need to collab with other projects. I mean, some
Right.
people think they need to do promotions, they need to do marketing, and that's how they no. That's not how you're going to build your community. The first thing you do is you build your brand and then you start collaborating with other projects. So you give them some spots, you give them whitelist spots, you give them something. That's how you engage with people. So that's the first thing you need to do to build up your community. The second thing you need to do is you just need to you need to do some promotions. If you have a good budget, go ahead, do some promotions, but within the community. You don't have to, if you're launching a project on Solana, you have to only work with the influencers that are only in Solana, that the only targeted people are Solana people. So these
Right.
are the two most important things. First of all, you need to hire collab managers to do the collabs with other projects. That's how you build the community. And once you build a community, for example, once you build like a thousand, 2,000, like 50,000 people of community, how you engage with them is, the founder is like the most important. Like just look at Frank, right? I'm gonna give you example of these guys because I love these guys, right?
Right.
Just look at Frank. This guy, he is active all the time, like freaking all the time. Every day you can see him active, you can see him engaging with the community. Like his community is everything for him. So
Right.
if you're building a community as a founder, you need to be engaged with your audience. Like it's your just it's your everything. You need to be engaged with them, you need to be active. So these are the 3 points. You need to collab, you need to do promotion, and then the third and the most important part is you need, as a founder, you need to be active with the community, and you talk to them, you need to engage them, and you need to tell them like what's going on. So these are the key and the major points to build up
Definitely.
community.
But we also came across some scenarios where people are holding a good community. They sold the NFTs, things have been done but still they are having a good set of number in their Discord. They have a good close community. But now people come with some question like, now what? Maybe people are trying to create some utilities and that all thing. But do you think like connecting your created community with real time scenarios, like connecting with e-com discount or hotel booking or some type
Mm.
of real time collaboration, does that make sense
Mm.
also for them, or like how is it goes?
That's a really good question, Kapil. Like that's a pretty good question. So, okay, first of all, I mean, I would put it that way. The thing is, when you talk about the real life utilities, the thing is, it's I guess it's gonna be the next biggest meta in the ecosystem.
Okay.
So, because there has been some successful projects, like you can look at Fruits. I'm not sure if you heard of it. Like, there was a project called Fruits. What they
Uh-huh.
did is whoever owns their NFT, whoever has their NFT, they can get access to their physical juice store. You can get the juices, stuff like that, from their physical store. So, and it was pretty successful. It's a still pretty successful project. So I guess this is going to be in the next bull run. This is going to be one of the biggest meta, the real life utility, because people are, not a lot of people are doing it. So I really think that is going to be one of the biggest thing in the coming time. So if someone is planning to do or to launch any project, look at the Fruits NFT, learn something from them, and then maybe put something together, because this is going to be really interesting, because I have seen people took interest in this thing, and then I guess it's going to be and with my experience, it's going to be one of the best things. So yeah,
That is
highly,
really,
highly,
yeah,
suggest this
that
thing.
is a good advice on that set. Like people can check this out and they can try something new because new thing is always accepted. That is the beauty of the crypto world. Or these people are so much excited, like they always love the new thing, and if this makes sense, they will definitely accept it. So
Yeah,
again, in this downtrend, one question asked, like one of my colleague have asked, especially this question, and they asked, they
what is
request
it?
me to keep in front of you, like what they do in
Uh-huh.
this downtrend. Like they know they were the person who want to launch NFT and that all thing, but again, looking at the downtrend, they think like, should we postpone, or should we just build community and wait for something, or should we go with the downtrend and then go with the next project or something like that? What you advise to them?
Okay. So if someone, for example, as I told you, now I'm working as a consultant. So I've been, people are reaching out to me who wants to launch their project. I've been, advising them. And something I'm gonna share here, what I always talk to and always tell people is you can work with any kind of market. Like if it's a bear market, if it's like any kind of market, you can work with that. The only thing is you have to have the right strategy there. So, for example, if you look at the recently launched project, I'm going to give an example of Lily and the Lotus Gang and the Lily NFT, and some reason like Kleno Source was one of the project that recently launched. So these projects were okay. So you're not going to believe this Kleno Source project. The mid price was I guess it was like 20 Solana. So it was like 50. It was like a high mid price, like 15 or
Right.
20 Solana. So I never thought it would sell out, but they completely sold out with 10,000 pieces. So in this downtrend, I would say the one and the most important thing that matters a lot is if you have the right strategy and if you have the right team as well. So you have to have the right strategy. Once you have that, you can work with any trend and you can work with any market. Yeah, you're gonna put more effort into the marketing side just because of like there is not a lot of interest as it was before, but it's still like you're gonna still work it out if you have the right thing in place. So that
So
would be my answer on that.
So in this sense, like if I take like we can still make it up in this trend or in this set. So how you
Mhm.
have done with your team? Like your team management is also critical part to the success of any project. So there are two critical
Exactly.
things like marketing and technicality. So how you did? Like did you any part you outsource or everything you have in house? How the whole setup was done in your scenario?
Mhm. So, with my past like 6 years of experience in the whole, like, the Web 2 and the Web 3 space, 90% of my work is outsourced. I mean, I have 20 employees working there, but
Hmm.
most of my tasks are getting done. I'm outsourcing them, most of them, just because, like, and this is something I prefer as well. The reason is because in outsourcing you get to you have a lot of options. First of all, the second thing is what I have seen from the past like years is a lot of talented people. They're now getting onto the freelance thing. They're not doing job anymore. They're not there. So even if I'm interviewing back then, when I interviewed 10 people, the five or like at least seven of them were like credible and pretty good, with their experience and everything. And now when I'm going to look for someone, I don't get the same quality of this stuff. And if as compared to the in-house meetings and as
Hmm.
compared to that, if I look for someone and I post a job on Upwork or somewhere, I see crazy, like everyone is like overqualified, like everyone has a great experience, everything. So me personally, I had a great experience working with with like outsource team. For example, you, right? I mean, how I met you. So I talked to like 10 freaking people and I didn't find a good developer. I was so frustrated, like, bro, God, please, like, give me a good developer at least. I mean, I spent a lot of money and everything. And then I get to meet you and your team. So thank God, like, because like you came to us, and then we completed that the project. It went great. Everything was pretty good. And I didn't have that expectation from your side because obviously, like, I had like 10 bad experiences. Like, hey, this is gonna be the another bad experience. That's something I was expecting, but it was pretty good. So again, I mean, I still remember that, and I think about like, okay, I still appreciate you that you helped me at that time. So it was pretty good.
No,
So yeah,
really, thank
outsource
you.
is, I would
Yeah.
say, like, yeah. So thanks for that. And outsourcing is, I would say, like, that's like one of the things that I would bet on. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for like appreciation, and we really enjoyed to work on your project with you because the guideline was proper, the specification were proper, and things were moving smooth. But in this, there is still one curiosity comes when because we always seen this from the developer, like we always seen this platform like Upwork and Fiverr from the developer perspective. But when we take from your perspective, like client perspective, then what you think, like how you can speed up the selection process of freelancer? Because like what is the pain you see on these, and like if someone say like just speed up this process, do you have any strategy or any method to speed up this thing on like Upwork or Fiverr?
Yeah. So that's a pretty good question, which is related to a thing that I'm doing and something that that I had a good experience with. So I always prefer now, after losing a lot of money, what I have experienced is I always prefer going with an agency. So I would love to work with an agency, even
Okay.
I'm spending a little bit more, just because the reason is when you work with an agency, they have already done their D&Ds, they have already done their research, they have selected people for you. So like they already have an experienced people, and one of the good thing is they also help you throughout the whole process. Like this is how you can do it, right? So I always, I mean, me personally, I mean, I've had a great experience working with agency. So I would suggest going if you want to fasten the process, because if you hire a developer and you don't have any experience, right? For example, me personally, I didn't have any experience with development. So if I was hiring a developer, he sent me a whole CV and everything, but I didn't understand a single thing, bro, because I don't have experience with development. So I hired him, and then I had a bad freaking experience with him. So I mean, and then I went with you, for example, and then you had this 10 options with you, and then all that. So I would prefer going with an agency. I would prefer going with with an agency, because they are the one who done all the research for you, and they have like I would say like a selective team. So if you want to fasten the process, go work with an agency. With my experience, because I've lost a lot of money, and this is something I've experienced. So yeah, that's something I would prefer.
Definitely. And actually it makes sense because you already pointed out a couple of things. Like if you work with agency,
Mm.
they have done some, due diligence earlier. So they already
Exactly.
verified the developer, they already are giving you someone who is experienced and they have their own credibility to put on the assets. So in that way, this can work it out. So, like, because
Exactly. That's
it
the
looks
whole
like
point.
you have a really good experience in outsourcing, just for our listeners, I'm just putting one more question on this. So, like, from the client perspective, if you meet any developer, definitely you look their past experience. That is a key part always. Other than that, what makes someone as a good developer in front of you? What parameter you check on it?
Mhm. So with the developer, one and like the most important thing that matters to me is, because something that I've had like really bad experience with like some developers is, they most of them, they never meet the deadlines, right? I mean, you assign them something and it's always something is happening, or something messed up, whatever happens. So if you meet a developer and then he's committed to he's meeting his commitment, he's saying he's doing whatever he's saying, just keep it. It's a fucking diamond. Keep it, because you are not gonna get a lot of developers is going to do this. So yeah, I would say one of the things that matters to me is if he's keeping his commitment and working like on time. So and the other thing is, because I told you, right? I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, because as me personally, as I told you, like I would love to go with an agency because I don't have experience with development. So if someone sent me their GitHub, their all right, their like CV or their portfolio, yeah, I mean, one thing I look for, if they worked only thing, because that's something that I can understand. So I look for if they have worked on a similar project. That's something that I really care about. And the other thing is like if like yeah, I mean, and other thing is like working with an agency. So these are the things that I personally look for, and that's it. I mean, and I don't, as I don't have experience, that's why I would go with an agency. And with the developer, as I told you, that if he has worked on a similar project. So these are the things that I look for. Other than that, I don't have that much experience, so that's why I don't get deep into it. So that's about the developer
No,
thing.
no, but this really gave a, time accountability is very much important. This gives one clue.
Hmm.
Like if you want to work with someone, the key part is time and communication. If you communicate properly and if you put on the time, then no one get hurt, and it's a good win-win
Exactly.
situation for everyone. This happens.
Right. Yeah.
I totally understand that.
Tell me about you. Like you work tell me about you. Like how you work with the developer, as like have like a whole developer team and everything. So how is it with the clients? Like with the development thing. How's that going? Because I see there's like a demand coming up and everything. So how do you guys deal with like on the development thing? Like if you have a challenging part, if you have like a challenging like task, how you guys deal with that? Because I was always curious about that. Like because me now as a running an agency, I have got some like custom requirement for the development side of thing, and it's crazy like how people want it, and I see other people are doing it. So like, how you guys like take care of the things which is like quite like custom based, and if someone comes to you and then say, yeah, I want to do this, get that done. So how you guys deal with these things?
It's a good question, like a counter question, definitely.
Yeah.
But because you have asked from the perspective of the agency which we run, definitely, whenever we take any project, the key thing we understand from our past experience is like which part of the project is going to be like complicated and which part is going to be easy. Also, when you work with the agency, it is not like one person. Agency has a small team or big team, but again they have a team. So we split our
Exactly.
work structure. Like there are a senior people are there, or there are a people with good experience who are good for research, and they start from the day one when we start the project with only those complex things. They don't do the normal thing, but they only work on those complex things, make them keep ready somewhere aside. So whenever you need, you can just connect that thing and work it out. Then there
Yeah.
are
You see,
other set of
yeah.
developers.
What is it? What is it?
Yeah, then there is a parallel working force. Like there is a normal developer, like there is one developer with 5 year experience, there is one developer with 1.5 or 2 year experience. Then all the normal,
Mm.
because every project has like 80-20 ratio. 80% of work of every project is going to be normal, but 20% is going to be the critical, the complex, which will connect the whole 80% of the project. So you can consider like front end design, front end development, mobile responsive, making a basic backend thing, login, sign up. These all are something can be done by 2 year experience also, because this is something he has also done 10 times. So these
Yeah,
are the best practices.
totally get it.
Still, some
Totally get
critical
it.
ones need to be keep for senior one. We don't waste time on that on the junior one, and also don't assign him because he can, bit up and mix up the thing and make it more worse. So we do not do that. So this is something, a strategy we use, senior and junior, and combine it.
Yeah. Exactly. So what I was saying actually, you see that? This is the reason, like that's the whole point I was saying why I go with an agency. Because you see, like as a normal person, if you go work with with any like any developer, like a solo developer, he might not know how the backend. He might not have expertise in the backend. He might not have he might have expertise in backend, but not the front end. But when you have like an agency, they have a backend developer separately whose expertise are just in the backend, right? So if they assign your project to to their team, your backend is getting done by a professional who knows how to get the backend done. Your front end is getting done by someone who knows how to get the front end done. So like a whole bunch of developers are working on your project. So everyone is experienced on a specific, your specific point. You know what I mean? So this is why that's why one of the reason I always go with whenever it's like a development task, mostly development task, go with an agency. So yeah, thanks
That
for
makes
thanks for making it clear
yeah.
though.
No, no, definitely makes sense. And now, like the next segment is going to be, one of my favorite segment, because our when I talked about, like, our next podcast is with you and you have this type of experience. So there were people in our
Yeah.
team and in our listeners who really want to know more about your own life and like how you have done and things and something like that. So the first question is going to be a bit, personal, but you can answer the way you
That's
want.
okay.
So
It's okay.
how
It's
much,
okay. Go ahead.
like, frankly, in this good time and bad time, considering everything, like how much money did you really made with your first project, and how you use it optimally or invest it, and how you use it in future?
Right. So, okay, couple. Couple wants the number. Okay. I can give you the number. If you want the number, I can give you that. So, all right. So this is like not a lot of people know that, but with first project, NFTs when I sold out, I was the solo founder. I was the one who was the marketer, like literally everything. I was the one who's doing everything. So I made 300K US dollar at that time when I sold out, NFTs. So that was the one I made. I invested 200K back to the project because we had to launch the staking, we had to launch the token, everything. We get some got some development done, and the remaining 100K was distributed between me, the developer, and the artist. So that's how I distributed, the funds. And yeah, and then throughout the whole process, we did a lot of development. We launched like refos, we launched a lot of websites and everything. So that's how we use the funds on the project. We hired advisors, you know, the throughout the whole 8 months we did all of that. The project is not like, one thing I would like to add here is the project, you know, we worked for 6 8 months, but then I handed my project back to one of my partner. I said like, hey, I mean, you know, this is something, if he said he would love to deal with that. And I was working on my, I was building legions, but I was not able to focus on legions just because I had a lot of things going on with Eunoia, and also the legions was there. So what I said, I gave my project, I handed over Eunoia to one of my partner. The floor price was like 5 Solana at that time, but you know, he messed it up. I thought he would be able to manage that, but he couldn't do it, so he just messed up the whole thing. Now I got my project back on my hands, and now I'm making, you know, oh, okay, this is an alpha. If someone if someone holds a, you know, NFT and listening to it, Eunoia is going to be the art agency. So that's something I'm going to do. We are going to burn the NFT collection. We have like 800 pieces, but we are going to burn it down to like 100. It's going to be exclusive, totally exclusive, and it's going to be passed for you to access the art agency. And there would be a lot of things going on in the art agency. One thing, like one alpha I can give it here, is the art agency is a whole website where you can buy characters, right? So the ready-made character. So any project, any NFT project who would like to launch their collection, they can just go to, you know, a art website, and then they can select any character, already made character there from there, and the same artist who made it, they can work with them as well. So this is something we are planning to do with Eunoia. So yeah, that's the thing about how much money I made. What was the other question about my life, right? What was
Like,
that?
yeah, other question, like how you invest strategically. Like you have some set of money, and like, do you invest
Mm-hmm.
directly on cryptos, do you invest in NFTs, or do you invest
Uh-huh.
in DeFi apps? How you make a strategy on it?
Hmm. So, all right. So how I do it is, I have this rule, which is something I do right now as well. Either I make money with NFTs or with any other project. So what I do is I put 30, whatever money I make, I put 30% on my investment account, which is something that I'm gonna invest with. The 30% goes to my savings, and the 40%, the remaining 40% goes to my expense. So the you know, most of the time it's like 40%. I just change it, the 40% to like investment, and then 30% expense. That's how I do it. But the money, whatever money I have for investment, how I do it is, I just like, you know, most of my investment and most of my assets are in NFTs, because something I'm a big believer of, like of the NFT space. That's why, you know, I'm putting most of my money there. I love the technology and everything, so that's why most of my investment are going there on the NFTs. You know, and then I divided like some of them to like physical assets. Like I would say like 30% of that goes to the physical assets, and then the remaining 30% goes to, you know, the crypto. Like 20 30% goes to crypto. So major investment goes to NFTs, and then, you know, crypto, and then I invest a little bit of money on physical assets as well.
Physical assets, like this is a good
Yeah,
mix up, because we should always have, you know, a distributed segment in the investment, so we can always match in the good and the bad
exactly.
time in that set. This is a key thing we can take
That's
it
really
up.
needed.
So in
It's
your,
that.
you know, in your journey of your the project launch, like in your both project launch, you might be frustrated one time, like, oh, things are not working up, or I just want to leave it, or
Hmm.
something like that. Have you felt that
Hmm.
anything? And if yes, then how you overcome?
Always. Always, guys. I'm gonna tell you this thing every single time. Whenever you launch any project, every single freaking time. I'm not even saying like, you know, you might not have it if you have that much money. No, I mean, whatever you do, you will have this point in your life when you will say like, this might not be for me. This is not working out. I mean, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna come to you. But like, what I would say is like, me personally, I mean, I know it's a part of it. I mean, I'm so used to it now after losing a lot of money, after getting a lot of experience. I'm so used to it now. Whenever I get to that point, I'm gonna say like, I'm gonna do it till like, whatever happens. That's something you need to have in your mind. You need to say, hey, whatever happens, if I'm freaking like, you know, whatever, like I'm bankrupt, whatever. If I have to wake up till like 3 a.m. in the morning, whatever I have to do, I'm gonna do it. And if you have that mentality, like, not even a single time I lose with having that mentality. And then, so if you have that mentality, you're working hard, you're like, finding ways, everything, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Just believe me, it's gonna work out at some point. So
Oh,
don't just give up, keep pushing yourself, and then it's gonna work out at some point.
it's
So yeah.
you just need to keep your belief awake. Like yes, if
Exactly,
work
bro.
out,
It's so important. It's so hard, but it's so important.
it's important. Definitely, definitely. So now we are on the last segment. That is the rapid fire. It's going to be a few quick questions. We need some quick answer from
For
you.
sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So
Go
which
ahead.
is your
Go ahead.
favorite social media platform?
Twitter.
Twitter. Expected. NFT
Yeah.
and Twitter is like they are the
Yeah.
parents.
Twitter is like everything. 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 Twitter.
Yeah. Favorite car or any brand, car brand?
I would go with Rose. Like yeah, Rolls Royce.
Wow. And actually, I
Fucking
see
like
in your
beautiful. Yeah.
profile there is Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
true.
fucking love it, man. I fucking love it.
Funny.
Yeah.
Your role model, like anything you consider as a role model.
Okay. Yeah, I would say when role model, I would say like Prophet. I'm a Muslim, so I believe that. So yeah, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
with that.
That's good.
Yeah.
And any specific coin or something which you prefer or which you want, like you keep investing and you have believe in it.
Salami, bro.
Solana.
Salami, bro, all the way, all the way, all the way. Eating all the life savings on Solana, man. Solana all the way.
It's
Like,
going
I'm
to
not
be.
joking. I'm not joking. Solana has a lot of potential. It's not just not a fun, but like if you look at that, it's the best layer one. So yeah, Solana all the way, Solana.
Definitely. Things you do for your relaxing, like when you just want to relax and chill or peace, what you do for it.
I talk to my girl, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. One
And
thing, okay, okay, one thing, because I was like talking to her before this podcast, like, okay, this is something is gonna happen. I need this podcast to be one of, because that's my first podcast. I need to be a
uh-huh.
big thing for me and for the rest of my life. I need to add this here. So something I would like to add here, like this a little bit of details about like who she is. She is the Eunoia artist. Like I met the Eunoia artist,
Whoa.
and we got into okay, here's something interesting. We got into a relationship, and I'm probably gonna get married to her. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I freaking love this girl. Whenever I need any relaxing, I talk to her. So yeah, thank you so much for being in my life. So yeah, just wanted to add her. So if she listens to it, she's like, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, he
So
talks
that
about me.
means,
So yeah, that's good.
so that means I must say, like Unaya has brought not only money and experience, but like
Bro,
it has
exactly.
given you too
Bro,
many things, like your
exactly.
life partner and many must thing on it.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it had like gave me a lot of thing, and the best thing it gave me is the girl that I'm going to get married to. So like, yeah, that's the point, bro.
No, no, that's
I'm
really
so
good.
happy.
And at last, like, do you really, because you believe in Solana and that all thing, so you believe that it will again touch the high of 200 or 300, which Solana seen previously, 100%, right?
Mm. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And the exchange you preferred, like, which exchange you preferred as, most optimus or
Uh, if you have been familiar with the recent floods and everything, and it's not just flood, I really believe that something could happen. So I would say I would prefer decentralized exchange instead of going with Binance FTX. I would prefer going more of like a Uniswap or like any decentralized exchange. That's more preferable in my opinion.
Oh, that's good. Like so they are something like not controlled by one and not on on the stage of,
Exactly,
because
exactly. It's on you. It's Yep.
yeah.
Yep. It's on you. You don't. It's controlled by anyone. They don't have your identity and anything. They don't play with your funds, right? They cannot hold your funds like whenever they want to. So I would prefer always to go with decentralized exchange. So you have control over your money. So that's what my last point would be.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So with this, we really enjoyed to talk with you. We got all our queries, and
Yeah,
definitely
me as well.
our listener would be excited because they will learn so many things. And definitely
Hmm.
with our detail of the podcast, I will give them your Twitter handle so that they can connect you. They can get in touch base with you. And
For sure.
with all the end, I just want some few things or a last word about your inspiration, motivation. What keep you motivate and which you want our listener to know.
Hmm. So I would say the motivation behind everything, literally everything I do is going to be I always have this one thing that whenever anyone like in this world, we have to, what I believe is you have to put this, whenever when you die, you have to have a certain role in this world, so you have to do something. So what I believe in personally, something that you have seen in my WhatsApp, I recently started teaching people. So that's something I would like to do, to have to build a community. And this is my aspiration, like to build a community, to being an institute and to teach people, to help people, and to make this world a little bit better place. If I can even put like 1% of my effort in this world, I mean, that's going to be a biggest achievement for me. So money is never my goal, was never my goal, and will never be my goal. But like my goal is to do something in this world, put my a little bit of like a percentage, if I can do that. So that's my motivation. That's something I'm going to do. The goal is to build being an institute and then help as many people as possible. So that's the purpose of it.
That's really good. Like having such type of noble purpose and having such type of thought really keep your inside fire awake, and make yourself to
Yeah,
work every day for your for the cause which you are looking for.
yeah. Like
And
you
that,
have a purpose. Yeah, you
yeah,
have a purpose.
yeah, the
Exactly.
purpose is really good. So with this, I really like to thank you for your time. The all talk was good,
Thanks,
and
man.
listener will really get
It
more
was great.
knowledge, experience, and motivate about that. So
Yeah,
anything you
exactly.
want to
Really
say
enjoyed
last
it.
to our listeners?
Yeah, like just I guess that's gonna be it. It's just like if anyone wants to, one thing, because I'm gonna say that I had a great experience working with you. So if anyone wants anything, or you would like to work on a, I don't know, like you would like to launch anything, whatever, you can always talk to Kapil. He is a legend, because he helped this guy, he helped me a lot. So I just wanted to put that thing here. Anything you have, just get to him, and that's it. And then I guess, like, I would say this is the time to invest in crypto and NFTs. I'm really being on, because this is the time people have this fear that it might end, but it would never end. All right, this is the time where people have this scarcity. So I would, at the end of this podcast, I would add this thing: if you have money, I would give you a little bit, a bit of this advice that's going to help you a lot. Every month you put out like at least like 5% of your income on crypto. You do that for the next, like, because we have bear market for the next like 2 years. So just do that, like put 5% of your income on crypto, just keep investing it. And then you will be on the next bull run, you will be doing this, like, at least like 10 or 20x of your, whatever investment you have. So this is the advice I would be giving to the people. And yeah, that's it, bro. That's it from my side. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I hope you all have a great, great, great day.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for this $1 million advice. Definitely, I'm going to apply it in my life 100%, and I will definitely urge
For
my
sure.
audience to check your profile, check your projects, do connect with you, follow you on Twitter, and all the information will be provided with the podcast live. With this all, thank
For
you,
sure. For
thank you
sure.
everyone for your time and being here.